Check one, check. The show will begin shortly.
Hello everyone, welcome to K-NITE 2020. Just a reminder that all acts are associated with Korean folktale stories, and the descriptions are on the pamphlets provided. So, without further ado, let's get the show started! Now introducing your MCs, Ashley and Sam! Man, this Korean 203 is really destroying me right now.
Well, yeah, because you're so jinja bad at Korean.
Not true, but I'm really about to fail this if I don't do anything. Like this extra credit book report. I don't know what book to do.
I think Amma has some books in the attic that you could probably use.
Does it have pictures?
It's a children's book. It has only pictures.
And then disguises himself as their mother to eat them too. The children climb up a tree and pray to the heavens to let down a rope. The tiger tries to follow their lead, but because of his rotten heart, the rope snaps and falls to its death. Haeryoung and Taesan become part of the universe to become the sun and the moon. Please introduce our first act, Yujung! probably a story about that. Oh, like the story about Xinyu. Xinyu is the daughter of the king of the heaven who falls in love with the cow herder, Gyun. The king disapproves of their marriage and sends them to opposite sides of the Milky Way, only allowing them to see each other once per year.
What a romantic story! Our next act is about the longing that Gyunu and Xinyu have for each other. So please welcome Stephanie Lam, who will be singing Park Hyo-shin's Wildflower. love for her father.
I think I would do anything for our parents.
And that's what our next act is about. Please welcome Sarah Kim as she connects with Shim Cheong through spoken word.
Okay, now can everyone hear me? So hi, I'm Sarah. I'm performing for Yak-Bong. So leading up to this performance, like the whole week, I've been really nervous, just because first of all, stage fright, but also I was hoping that this would be relatable to you all. But coincidentally, in this same week, I actually got mail from the citizenship office about my application process, and just yesterday morning, I got my... I am one step closer to becoming a US citizen, and it's as if they're sort of listening to me. So yeah, my little blurb is about just being like Asian American, Korean American, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully you can connect with it. So yeah, thank you. I apologize to my people, to the Korean blood in me. Grandma wanted to tell me her childhood stories and popular fables, dramas that were on the TV. I can hear you, but I don't know what you're saying. She gave me a small laugh and said, "It's okay." That was the last conversation we had. I was 5 when I last saw her. I've been sitting in the same position ever since, in silence, knowing that I was running out of time, on my knees, straining to listen, to pick up a few key words and phrases to stitch something together with my Konglish vocabulary, a muddled rhapsody. Because sometimes that's the most I could make of myself. Neither Korean nor American, just the hyphen in between. I apologize to my people, to my parents specifically. It's the same story for every immigrant family. My parents gave up everything, family, friends, community, the very culture with which they identify, to chase that unattainable American dream, to give us a life better than theirs. I remember a few years ago, my dad was given a job offer. Instead of teaching at a university in Florida, he could have been a professor in his home country, in his beloved South Korea. I can only imagine how happy he must have been. It was like a golden second chance to be reunited with his kin. But my parents turned down that offer because of me and my sister. Shim Cheong sacrificed her future for her father's eyesight. Can I ever dream of doing the same? I will be forever grateful, forever heartbroken, that I can never fully repay them for what they gave me. I apologize to my people for not having lived through the troubles of immigration and racism of their time, to being another victim of the Western mind's distorted plagiarism on what Oriental really is. I may not have seen nor heard the same things, but I'm here to tell you, I feel the grief. I'm here because of where I've been, to go where I haven't, to the empty space this generation calls a haunting. So I'm standing for the resistance of the frictions of fiction, against the grind of oversimplification. This is not Pictionary. I have been carefully crafted, not quickly drafted and sketched the way you so easily call me, Chinese, Japanese, Koreanese. Because if you are one or more of these, you are always guilty, filthy. 1 month in Korea, 250 in the States, but you see an alien. We share the same surname, the same ancestors, but you see an American. Where do I belong? What sovereign do I answer to? Who do you want me to be? Wherever I am, either here or there, I will always be your other. 미국인입니다. 그리고 한국인입니다. 왜 선택을 해야 하나요? You tell me to pick a side, but I cannot choose. I will not choose. I refuse to choose. I do not apologize for that.
Vanessa! Please enjoy this performance by Vanessa Lin skating to a traditional version of Arirang. Oh wait, do you have any food on you right now?
No, why would I have any food on me?
Wait, I bet this book has food, hold on.
Wait, there is this story about a kid who makes food. We should find it.
Okay, hold on, let's go.
Wait, this explains how Yak-Bong and Yak-Bong are so popular. And then, maybe this book will have some.
Hold on. Dang, man, there's no Yak-Bong, but we do have our next act. Please welcome Hern Lim as he will be preparing his grandmother's recipe for Yak-Bong and talking about its history.
You know, can you hear me without it? Yeah! Let's go on ahead. You better. Alright. Hey everyone, my name is Hern. It's like Fern with an H. And today I'm going to be making Yak-Bong. It's a Korean delicacy. I compare it similarly to like how fruitcake is, but I think unlike fruitcake, it actually tastes good, first of all. Second of all, I would give it as a housekeeping gift because I mean, I love food though, but I don't know if other people would like it as a gift, but I would, so it's fine. Anyways, today I will be making my grandmother's recipe. I'm not going to show you the traditional method though because it requires a lot of time and a lot of stuff that I don't have. So, and also since we're in college, you know, we're going to simplify it, do the college version. I'll be talking about the traditional method as we go along. Yeah, but before we begin, I'm going to just start off by sharing a quick story about its creation and the story of Yak-Bong and Yak-Bong. It's the flour shake and desserts that you ate before the show. It all started with this young boy named Yak-Bong. He was a 6-year-old in Korea who mastered the Chinese language. And the king at the time was like, whoa, this kid is so smart. And so he was able to study in the king's courts and became a great scholar of the king. And the Sub family after that was known to produce many heirs of great kingdoms. Smart families. While that's an amazing story and all, I think another incredible story that's lesser known is the story of his mother, who was nameless and a widow. After giving birth to Yak-Bong, she developed a bad case of measles and went blind. So, without a father figure and without an education, the only way to support her son's education was through selling food on the streets. And so she made 2 desserts named after her son. The first was Yak-Bong, which was the flour shaped candies. It started off as just flour and sugar, very simple, and it was baked. And the other was Yak-Bong, which is this. And it started off only as flour or rice with some fruits that she harvested from the gardens and bought from the markets. And the commoners at the time, they were like, whoa, this stuff is so good. And the king got word of it again and was like, she needs to teach all the head chefs how to make this. So all the head chefs came to the king's courts again, and she taught them all how to make this dish. But what started off as a very simple dish kind of grew into something that she could never expect. The Yak-Bong, which were just small, simple desserts, turned into something very lavish with honey and rich spices. And similarly, the Yak-Bong, it got all these other ingredients in it, including pine nuts and chestnuts and things that commoners couldn't really afford. So while the common people couldn't eat this on a daily basis, the rich people were able to feast on this day after day. And so for the people who weren't able to afford this, they could only eat it on special occasions. One being Jaesook, which is the Mid-Autumn Festival, and for Hwanga, which is the 60th birthday, an age that not many Koreans could live to. So today what I'm showing you is going to be the king's version, because unfortunately the mom's version has been lost for generations. But starting off. So we've got 2 cups of rice. This is sweet rice. And don't use white rice, trust me, turns out the most. So, pop it in the office at 3:50 for about 5 minutes. Give them a little shuffle. You don't want the bottom to burn. And then you want another 3 to 5 minutes, and boom, perfectly roasted nuts. The traditional way of doing the chestnuts would be to just throw them in the oven and put X's on the bottoms of them. But that takes so much work and it takes so much time that it ain't worth it really. So just get the roasted ones from H1 or something. But on top of that, we also have soy sauce and we have sesame oil with sesame seeds and brown sugar. By the way, I forgot my name, but these are all like a 4th cup. This is 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons, and half cup. All of this you can really adjust based on like what you like or what you want to make it. If you want to make it like a full meal versus a dessert, of course you just change the brown sugar and the soy sauce ratios. But this is going to be a dessert version, so that's what we're going to do today. And this is what the final product is going to look like. And so hopefully we get to that stuff together. So like I said before, this rice was already washed. And so all we're going to do, we got this lovely rice cooker. I don't have it in my dorm, alright? So, and so what we're going to do is just, add the rice to the rice cooker. Easy peasy, right? Nice. Next, we got some water, half cup of water. No more, no less. This is the perfect amount. Because we also got other stuff that will hydrate it as well. But in a traditional recipe, what you would do is soak this overnight for at least 8 hours. But we don't have the time for that. I mean, what it does, it really helps make the cooking process really even. And it also helps with digestion. But we're just going to wash it first because Mom says so, but also it's important to remove any of the excess starches or impurities that keep it clumping together. But with that, we're going to just add it all together. It's like an instant pot, Just like throw it all together, hope for the best. But yeah, again, like I said, for all these quantities, you can change it all. Like if you add too much liquid, it gets really soggy. If you don't add enough, it just is too dry. But I think personally this is great to do, especially when studying or something. Think about it, you meal ready, you meal prep this, and you have to wait for lunch the next day. So we're just gonna mash this all together. Brown sugar happens to help a little bit, let's just say that. Okay. And so you're gonna cook this. You don't actually have the time to cook it because performances and all this would take like a good 2 hours or so. But in a traditional recipe, what you do is put it in a steamer. And like my grandmother, what she does is she has this massive steamer and she only cooks in bulk. I don't understand. I'm like, Mom, Grandma, we only need small quantities. She's like, what are small quantities? It's okay. So we're going to use this and then we're going to cook it for about 40 minutes or until the rice cooker tells me it's done. But while it's cooking, let me tell you why this recipe and these stories mean so much to me. Growing up Asian American, I've had a language barrier with my grandparents. They speak Korean and I speak English. And there's really not much that we can have conversations about except how was school or do you like the food, kind of stuff. And so sometimes I'm fearful that I might lose a piece of my heritage or lose the fact of knowing where I came from. Similarly to how this Yak-Bong first started off as something for everyone in Korea, but as it grew into something, it lost that touch with the common people and became something really grand and big. And I'm worried that as an Asian American, I won't be able to go back to my roots and say, I am Korean American. So hopefully, by learning these recipes from my grandmother, I'll be able to share these stories, share these recipes with other people like you today, and be able to have that piece of my culture and my identity still. But yeah, we're going to say that the cooking process is done, even though it's not. And this is what the final product is. I prepared some with my grandmother and my mother. They've worked so hard on this, and I cannot thank them enough for really making this a family effort when I was like, don't worry, I'll take care of it myself. During the intermission, they'll be serving some outside. Sorry, I will not have enough for everyone, and I don't want this to be a first come, first serve, but it kind of is a first come, first serve. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you, and enjoy the rest of the show.
seduce men and eat their hearts.
Ashley! Oh, hey. Ashley? What did you do to me?
Seth, this is just wrong. I'm all about supporting female empowerment, but not like this. We need powerful Gumiho women, not this.
Well, let's get on to our next performance. Please welcome Gumiho as they dance and steal our hearts away and look better than I do. The next story is about a misbehaving green frog who always does the opposite of what his mother says.
Sounds a little like you. Also, side note, hope everyone's enjoying K-NITE so far, but we need to announce something real quick. Thanks to an anonymous sponsor, we have hidden a $50 gift card under one of your seats. So go ahead and check and raise your hand if you got it.
Yeah, raise your hand if you got it. Psych! Got him! Oh, you know why? Because that's not what the green frog would do, am I right? All right. That's nice. Got him! Okay, please welcome Caroline Hobb and Jennifer Yu as they parallel the relationship of the frog and his parents with their own experiences.
Hi everyone. My name is Jennifer and this is Caroline, and I'll be sharing a personal story of mine. As Korean Americans, we recognize that despite changing times, we can still find ourselves deeply rooted in these Korean folktales. We are caught in the midst of a tug of war between our identities as individuals and our identities within our families. This is a personal story of mine in which I will directly relate to the Korean folktale, The Frog Story, told by Caroline, or also known as Changbyeoguri in Korean. Though our stories may begin similarly, we meet different endings.
Once upon a time, there was a little green frog that lived with his mother in a small pond.
Growing up, I've always really valued my family and the time I spend with them. I still sometimes think back to this one walk I took with my dad over the summer, where he told me about his childhood, his past, his story, his failures, and his hopes.
The green frog never listened to his mother, and when she told him to do something, he always did the opposite. If his mother told him to play in the hills, he went to the river. If she told him to go up, he went down. If she told him left, he went right. And if she told him this, he did that. The mother frog worried what she would do with her son. It wasn't that he was a bad frog. He simply liked mischief, finding pleasure in doing the exact opposite of what he was supposed to do. She worried about what would happen to him when she was gone.
Throughout my childhood, my family always told me art is just a hobby, that you have to be really special to be able to pursue it. It was discouraging and always made me question, am I good enough? However, I always found ways to do it. When my parents would tell me that my art was pointless, I would push myself even harder to explore new mediums. When my parents would tell me that my art was a waste of time, I would spend hours perfecting my next design. It wasn't that I didn't value my parents' opinions. I've always just found myself to be drawn to art.
So day after day, week after week, the mother frog scolded the green frog and tried to teach him the proper way to behave, but he continued to ignore her and did just as he wished. The mother frog was growing old, and eventually she became sick. But even then, the green frog did not change his ways. She got worse and worse until she knew she was going to die. So she called her son to her side.
On that walk with my dad, he called me to his side and he told me about his life. He told me that his parents had both passed when he was young, that he only had his older sisters supporting him, that he had failed his college entrance exam, that he ended up practically homeless after serving in the Korean military, that when he immigrated to America, he had no choice but to settle for the jobs that he could get.
He had no choice but to work in a restaurant and run a shoe repair store. Eventually, he was able to go into computer engineering, but it wasn't by choice. He couldn't pursue what he desired because of his lack of knowledge in English, resources, and support. He told me that I live in a place where I can do anything as long as I put my mind to it. The American dream.
She wanted a proper burial on the mountain, and since she knew that the green frog would do the opposite of what she told him, she chose her words carefully. "When I die, do not bury me on the mountainside," she said. "Bury me by the riverbank." When the mother frog died, the green frog was terribly sad. He blamed himself for her death, and he was sorry for all the heartache he had caused her. He knew it was too late to undo all of his past misdeeds, but he could become a good frog for her now. He finally resolved to listen to his mother. "I always did the opposite of what she told me when she was alive," he said to himself. "But now I will do exactly as she told me."
I had always tried to do what my parents told me. I came into college determined to pursue healthcare. However, I questioned if going into healthcare was what I really wanted for myself after experiencing some academic difficulty. I decided that I wanted to fully pursue design. When I initially told my parents I wanted that last spring, they were hesitant in supporting me because they were worried about the stability of it all. I was too. All my life, I was told to never even think about pursuing art. I blamed myself for not wanting what they desired, like I had given up on them and wasted their sacrifices. I felt so lost. This walk with my dad made me reflect. What do I value? What do I hope for? Why? I actually came back to school inspired to do healthcare again after this walk. It was scary, the future and the uncertainty of it all. I still question and doubt what I would be happiest pursuing, especially knowing that my parents are growing older and my time with them is limited. How could I keep going when nothing is guaranteed? How could I live without any regrets?
So, even knowing that it was unwise, the green frog buried his mother by the river. When it rained, he stood watch, hoping that the water would not rise. But when the monsoon rains came that summer, the river rose higher and higher. It flowed over its banks and washed his mother's grief away. The green frog sat in the pouring rain by the riverbank, crying and crying for his mother. And that is why, to this day, the green frog cries when it rains.
Though the frog may cry of regret, I look toward the future with hope. I know that I am capable of pursuing what I want, no matter what. I know regardless of the path that I choose, my parents will support me no matter what. They ultimately just want me to be happy. I have hope because of the people around me who empower me, because of the community that I feel I am a part of. I have hope because of the sacrifices my parents have made for me to live in this country. With everyone's support, I know I can achieve anything with patience and perseverance. I keep going despite any adversity for the people I love in my life, for the people I have yet to meet, and for the generations ahead of me. We keep going for each other. It may be raining now, but I know that the sun will always shine. Thank you.
Wow, I just really can't stop reading these stories. Like this one. The birth of Kongjwi, or Pear Blossom, came with the death of her mother. Kongjwi's father marries a mean stepmother who, along with her daughter, abuses and mistreats Kongjwi. Oh, sounds like the classic Cinderella story. That's so good, right, Seth? Seth? Oh no, I have a bad feeling about this. Now introducing musical Medullas.
months ago? Question mark, question mark. A man and woman met on cacao and did the... They had a kid named Pear Blossom in honor of the new tree they got. They lived happily without a care in the world. But one day the mom started feeling ill and was dying, and that is where our story begins.
Oh no, I'm dying!
Here we go again. Oh, it's bad. Let me drop these digits.
You're gonna get a new mom, okay?
Are you for real, Dad? You better not be a Visco girl.
Don't worry about it. Come with me to the matchmaker to get your new mom.
A few inches later.
What's up, Daddy?
Ooh, Haeryoung.
Is this allowed?
Yes.
A few moments later.
Don't you guys do this every year? Huh, I guess we do this a lot.
You guys should be happy you're getting married.
Several months pass by. Time flowing as constantly as it always has been and always will. And now, with the addition of her new stepmom and stepsister, Pear's life reaches a new level. Pear's life sucks. And I mean pretty bad, like you think. Your life is bad, now multiplied by 2.57. Also, her dad died.
Life is buns are in, and I think I'm going psycho. If only there was a festival to cheer me up.
Hey everyone! There's a festival happening right now!
Hey, I gotta go. Mom, can I please go?
Sure, you can go.
Really? Ah, swell.
Psych! You thought! I spilled some rice earlier. You better go pick it up.
Dang. I got. Dang.
There will be 3 tasks presented to you, including this one. You may go if you complete them.
12 seconds later.
Welcome to the rice fields. Crying. Man, I really wanted to go. This is gonna take me weeks. In Korean. Nantamseya. I got you on the rice girl, cause that's me, Risa.
I'm here to plow your fields. So can I send the invoice now, or wait? Does it count if you don't do any work at all?
I mean, she's had a hard life, dude. Look at these rags.
It's fun.
You can also Venmo me at dab, hashtag fire emoji, sizzle.
Ribbit, Tibbit, it's me, ya boy, Froggy Frog. Yeah, I don't really know why I'm here, but I'm here to help.
I don't know how much I like all of us animals being forced to do your work.
Nah, this is totally fine, because I literally was doing nothing before this. Now let's get our little pair down to this festival by doing these chores, and let's get out this beat.
That works. You can go. Thanks, guys. Now I can go. Some random magic makes her look better than she ever had been. Oh my god! But it's enough for her to attract some rando.
Ooh, 안녕.
But Pear somehow makes it to the festival and starts chilling, vibe in, and doing the whole shebang.
What are you doing here? You must have stolen that. You ugly.
Oh, shoot, fam. I'll hunt her down to the ends of the earth.
Hey, watch this. I'm on a career. Volunteer her as tribute.
I'm gonna take a snapshot of this moment to remember when I found my love.
Pear and the prince decide to get married and they live happily ever after. The end. Music on Medullas as 2020 out.
Together, they steal and return wealth from the greedy nobility to peasants. He then leaves to an island, forming a new country in which he rules as a benevolent leader and declares that everyone is born equal.
Now we can please give a warm welcome for our last act of the night. Leo will perform a spoken word poem about the struggles of duality and Asian American identities. Give it up!
first time I visited my family back in Asia, thinking that I was fluent in my native tongue. But the more the English words formed the majority of my scrambled sentences, the less cultural identity I ended up with. And back in America, I was still the subject of overplayed stereotypes, slowly less proud to bring my oddly shaped dumpling lunch to school, which the other kids said looked like aliens. Or maybe that's why they say you are what you eat. Like a sheep raised by wolves, I had no idea what I was, the ultimate paradox, Asian and American. Like Hong Kyudong in Korean folklore, the bastard son of noblemen and concubine, I too bastardized my culture, muddled through my bloodline. But redemption runs through that same muddled blood. See, he toppled aristocracy like Robin Hood, a bandit king. I look at me and my people, a band of kings. I was my own Hong Kyudong. As I attempted to write my word into song, to right the wrongs that rung in our ears for more than 200 years, that rung like a hammer on railroad steel, established 1849. They gave us cold stares for our long hair. They gave us small eyes so we couldn't stare back. With dynamite on our backs, no letters to our families saying we couldn't make it back. And that's whack, but that's fact. See why I react so inclusively despite the Exclusion Act. Chop suey and chow mein. Anglicized pronunciation is maintained, yet it drives me insane. But the only way to stay sane and stay alive every day of our lives was fighting to survive, see. But in retrospect, curses can be a blessing in disguise. Because I was rejected by the place I called home, I was forced to search inside. Just a cultural vagabond, wandering lost, wonder for not, and sauntering off like a superhero whose origin story finally comes to fruition. I realized that home did not have a single definition in my dictionary. See, for some, home is a nice house with a patio, a lawn, and a white picket fence. But for me, home is every time my mother would make me dumplings to celebrate Lunar New Year's. The violent chemical reaction of vinegar and cooking wine amalgamating to conceive perfection under the blazing fire of the wok. As blazing as the sun that beat down on our ancestors, that beat down on the railroad's unmoving steel. Home was the loud clamor of mahjong tiles late into the night, clickety-clack. The jade green, iridescent under dim kitchen lights, moving through my fingers faster than getting asked the question, but where are you really from? I realize now that power resides in my individuality. It is the force that shatters the chains which enslave our mind states, because no matter what I did, I was accepted nowhere. Still just a vagabond wandering lost, a wolf in a sheep's clothing or a sheep in a wolf's hide. But no longer do I hide from my identity, no. I am like the yin and the yang, two opposite forces that are non-existent without the other, seemingly incompatible, intertwined yet independent. The universe operates upon this duality. On one hand, I am the engineer who is perceived as a lab rat, and I am also the rapper, the poet whose pen is his sword, his verse the modern expose. I am Asian and I am American, tolerated by both, but accepted by neither, accepted only by myself. I am the yin, I am the yang, I am the proud cultural bastard, I am the duality.
This show would not have been possible without our wonderful planning committee, Aaron Saw, Kate Park, Christina Park, Hern Lim, and Eric Gyun. And right now we're going to hear a few words from our cultural chair, and the one who ran the show, Aaron Saw. This year. There were so many hours of hard work and tears that went into this, and I just want to thank some of the people that made K-NITE 2020 possible. First of all, I want to thank all of you guys for coming, because you guys are here to watch. Second, I want to thank Hern, Christina, and Eric, the planning committee, a group of very weird but very hardworking people I'm so grateful for. I want to thank Jennifer Yang, our senior advisor, who volunteered her time and energy in keeping me sane. Jennifer Yu, our design chair, who I messaged like every single day for over a month for all of her designs and her performance. She's so talented. It's kind of crazy. I want to thank our sponsors, Itaewon Grill, Department of Global Studies, Department of Asian Studies, and the Carolina Asia Center for the funds necessary to make all the ideas I had for K-NITE happen. I want to thank Seth and Ashley, our president and logistics chair, who are our MCs, but definitely did so much more than just hosting K-NITE. I want to thank Nathan, our photography chair, who was so down to take photos and videos for K-NITE, and also made the photo booth, which you guys should take pictures in front of after the show. I want to thank all of our performers who have worked for countless hours practicing and working with us to make the best K-NITE there could be. I want to thank Jeff for spending so much time working with us to do tech, for being so supportive of all of our performers. I want to thank Nina, our special events chair, who made K-Lit happen. And then I want to thank Namu for the catering and providing us with great food. I want to thank the rest of CASA exec and all of our volunteers who made sure that everything ran smoothly, including cooking rice and cleaning up. Thank you so much for coming to K-NITE. I'm just going to turn it back to our MCs for a hot second. Thank you for coming.
This is more personal thanks, because Kate is my cousin, and she was the one who convinced me to join the CASA planning committee, and with her, I'm really glad that I did, because with this, I've been able to experience a lot of things, a lot of hardships, definitely, but a lot of rewards that came out of it, and I'm really glad that even though Kate couldn't be here, she did put in a lot of work and effort in the background to make this night possible, so I just want to give a personal thanks to her, and yeah, that's just what I want to say. I love you! Also, on behalf of the planning committee, we also want to thank Aaron, Queen, the stress and everything, and also being our superhero, Pow Pow, like, way to go, she's really been through it all for us, like, through the highs of, like, guys, K-NITE's gonna be so good, I'm so excited, to, like, the lows where she's like, guys, K-NITE's not gonna happen, I'm so stressed, but here we are, and we really could not have done any of this without her, so let's all give them a big round. We have t-shirts coming up. They're not for sale right now, so we just want to reveal the design, just because we promised t-shirts for like a couple years. So it says, CASA t-shirt on the back. Come on, that's cool. And then on the front it says, this is a Korean American Student Association t-shirt 2020. So these are going to be coming out for pre-order. It's kind of cool. Literal is the new swag, am I right? So these are some new t-shirts that are going to be
okay, 1 second. So I'm so sorry, but we completely forgot about our 10th act. So if you could just give us 1 second to set it up.
congratulate Aaron, Christina, Hern, and Eric for all of the hard work they've put in these past few months. I am so proud of you guys, and I'm so proud of you, Aaron, for just putting in so much of your time and energy into the show. I miss you. I miss our amazing planning committee and the rest of the executive board. I hope you guys have fun celebrating without me tonight. Congratulations.
Okay, and
just the last before we head out, we got some more thank yous. Again, we want to thank our planning committee because they planned an awesome K-NITE. So let's get the entire planning committee out. Come here. Okay.
And then can we also get Jaeny up on the stage?
And Nathan up on the stage as well. Come on up, our photographer as well. Again, thank you guys so much for coming to K-NITE. I hope it was a fun show. So yeah. Just without further ado, that's K-NITE. Stay tuned for next week.
Celebration tonight, and don't forget your ticket stub to get in for free. But that's the end, and thank you for coming.